BTS's Jungkook caught on camera in Tokyo. But it was not just an ordinary visit. Rumors spread that he was meeting with an important figure from the world fashion industry. Are these the first signs of Jungkook's discharge from the military? Who exactly is the mysterious figure who wants to recruit him? Does HYBE know? Or is it all a cover-up? Jungkook meets an important figure in Tokyo. A surprising new fact. Will Jungkook get out of the army sooner than he should? This question is now resonating not only among the army, but also in the circles of the global entertainment and fashion industries. Not without reason. Because Jungkook's sudden visit to Tokyo, which was previously thought to be a private affair or a secret photo shoot, now holds a much deeper imprint. A trail that leads us to one big name, someone who is touted as the key to a big change in Jungkook's life. What really happened in Tokyo? Who does Jungkook meet secretly in a luxury hotel heavily guarded by casual-dressed but covertly armed guards? Why isn't there a single HYBE staff accompanying? Why does Jungkook's face look different, more serious, more depressed? Or is it more certain of something he has chosen without anyone's blessing? The mysterious encounter took place at exactly 11:47 p.m. Tokyo time. An unnamed source, an employee of an exclusive upstairs restaurant in a Roppongi Hills neighborhood, said he saw Jungkook sitting opposite a middle-aged man in round glasses, dressed very modestly but with a Richard Mille watch worth more than 10 billion won. It's not just a dinner, the source said. It's more like a negotiation. Negotiations? For what? This is the part that is starting to make a lot of people nervous. According to a number of sources in the fashion industry, the man is not an arbitrary person. He is the creative head of a legendary fashion house that is looking for a new icon for the face of their label. And more surprisingly, their main candidate, it's Jungkook. But how is that possible? Isn't Jungkook serving in the military? Then another rumor began to spread, wilder, more alarming, that Jungkook's visit to Tokyo was part of preliminary negotiations to arrange for the possible termination of the exclusive contract with HYBE after his military service was over. Some even said that letters of request for a change in military status, whether postponement, adjustment of duty, or even a special exemption, had already entered the desk of the Korean Defense Authorities. Is Jungkook planning to not return to base after his leave? Will he end his chapter with BTS sooner than we thought? One thing is certain. Army's emotions are now torn apart by curiosity, confusion, and anxiety. Especially after one of the short videos from a Japanese fan went viral, showing Jungkook exiting the back door of a magnificent building in the HYBE area with a face that looked anxious but firm. Behind him, there is a glimpse of an old man with the typical makeup of a creative director, silent, calm, and full of strategy. Was it the moment of signing the contract? It's no coincidence, says a Korean branding expert who has worked with various big idols. Jungkook is considering something big. Tokyo is not a vacation spot for him at the moment. It's a big decision-making place. And it's not just about fashion. It's about the future. What would happen if Jungkook actually accepted the offer? Will he become the new face of the global fashion industry, leaving the world of music for a while, or forever? In previous interviews, Jungkook has said that fashion is part of his expression, as important as music. But who would have thought that expression could be a new path, one that would have major consequences, away from BTS, from the stage, and from the millions of soldiers who have been his breath for more than a decade. She looks different. One fan wrote in a viral tweet, "His eyes seem to have chosen a direction, even though the road is winding. But why does it hurt?" From behind all the speculation, one question continues to loom. Is Jungkook planning a major revolution in his life? Or is he trying to save us from something we don't know? How did the other BTS members react? Do they know? Or are they just as shocked as the public? Because until now, there has not been a single comment, upload, or communication sign from the members about Jungkook's whereabouts in Tokyo. There are no mentions, no repost stories, not even implied code in their uploads. This silence, very suspicious. And if this rumor is true, is HYBE trying to suppress it in order to maintain the stability of the company? Do they realize that losing Jungkook is not just losing a BTS member, but losing the most expensive asset in Korean music history? Meanwhile, the fans were divided. There are those who feel proud that Jungkook may be the face of global fashion on a par with world icons such as G-Dragon, Pharrell, even Timothée Chalamet. But others feel betrayed not by Jungkook's choice, but by the fact that all of this was done in silence, in secret, and in great probability, without the consent of the army. Why Tokyo? Asked a fan who uploaded a photo of Jungkook from a distance, standing staring at the night sky in Shibuya. Why not Seoul? Why not with another member? Whether Tokyo is an escape or a new stage. What makes it all the more emotional is the fact that Jungkook looks very calm. Not like someone caught in a conflict, like someone who has made a decision. And that's scary. Where will all this lead? When fashion, military, and destiny meet at a point called Tokyo, only Jungkook knows the answer. But the world, the army, and even the global entertainment industry are now waiting in dismay and hope for one next step. Whatever happens in Tokyo, it will never be just another short trip. It was the beginning of something that could change everything. But one new detail made things even more complicated. Some Japanese underground media began to publish blurry photos taken secretly in the lobby of the hotel where Jungkook was staying. In the photo, a man dressed in a cream-colored linen suit with a small wing-shaped brooch on his left chest sits side by side with Jungkook. Many thought it was just the management team or stylists, but the meticulous army found a surprising clue. The brooch is the symbol of an ultra-exclusive fashion company called HYBE, a mysterious label that has only recruited iconic faces who dare to challenge the fashion world's grip. What is Jungkook's relationship with HYBE? Why was their meeting so secret? And why was that classmate's company suddenly interested in him, even while he was in the military? An anonymous account claiming to be a former employee of the company revealed that their latest project was indeed aimed at someone from South Korea with global influence, unique visual abilities, and outstanding cross-cultural adaptability. That description, too precise not to point at Jungkook. In fact, the source mentioned that the first draft of the contract has been sent since 6 months ago. That is, this conversation is not something sudden. This is part of a scenario that was conceived slowly and quietly, perhaps even without the full knowledge of HYBE's side. Then what about the military? Does the South Korean military give permission for overseas visits only for the sake of personal affairs? Some defense policy observers say that such visits can only be made under certain conditions: official leave, diplomatic visits, or covert assignment. Did anyone pressure the military institutions to allow Jungkook to leave for a while? If so, who is strong enough to do that? A big name that has started to be mentioned lately is Yasuhiro Takeda, former creative director of Givenchy Asia and now CEO behind the rise of Akira Mode. He is known as a figure who is able not only to form trends, but also to challenge the old system. And now, he seems to want Jungkook as the face of the next revolution. But why now? Why when Jungkook was serving one of the toughest responsibilities of his life? Conscription, is this a strategy or an escape? Some netizens began to dig back into Jungkook's old interview that seemed to contain hidden codes. As he says, "I feel like I have to keep growing, even if it means taking a different path than before." At that time, this sentence was perceived only as an artistic reflection. But now, the sentence feels like a signal that has not been read correctly. Did I ask the different way? That is the world of international fashion? A world where Jungkook no longer stands as BTS's lead vocalist, but as an independent figure, a global visual icon who escapes the boundaries of music and the military. Then, does HYBE know all this? Or just trying to cover it up? One suspicious clue came from HYBE's official website, which suddenly removed a link to Jungkook's latest solo project from its top priority list. At first glance, it may look like a regular update, but for the observant army, this change is too sudden, too quiet. Even Jungkook's official social media accounts, which usually actively post support for fellow members, are now frozen. No updates, no interaction. Whether it is moving away or removed, at the same time, another shocking rumor began to spread: that Jungkook's contract extension with HYBE after his military service had not been fully agreed upon. There were even rumors that Jungkook put forward a special condition: complete freedom in organizing his career path after discharge from the draft. And that includes the right to choose the fashion agency with which he wants to cooperate, beyond the reach of HYBE. How will HYBE respond to this? Will they release Jungkook elegantly, or will they fight to keep him? In the midst of all this silence, what hurts fans the most is the lack of clarity. Because silence is sometimes more deafening than a though. But when the camera captured Jimin's expression at Incheon Airport that afternoon, eyes downcast, a mask covering half of his face, and only fingers visibly shaking as he clutched his phone, everything changed. The photo was not shared by the mainstream media, but by a fan who accidentally saw it while picking up his sister, who had just returned from abroad. And in a simple caption, the uploader wrote, "Something is different. He looks empty," as if he had just lost his way. The question is simple but slicing. Did Jimin just find out something he couldn't accept? The relationship between Jimin and Jungkook was never ordinary. Since their debut, the two have been very close. But there are not a few moments that show the subtle tension between them, which has been considered by the public as part of the dynamic of close friends. But now, those moments seem to take on new meaning. Like puzzle pieces that had been incomprehensible, but suddenly formed a huge, painful picture. Jimin has not issued any statement. Even his social media accounts are completely silent. But one sentence from a Weverse live session a few months ago went viral. "Sometimes we feel like someone is always there, so we think we can talk later, but it turns out later it never comes." At that time, this sentence was perceived only as Jimin's reflection on time. But now, the sentence is like a prophecy that hits in the most fragile moment, and Taeil is much more mysterious. Taeil's only public interaction related to this occurred 3 days after Jungkook arrived in Tokyo. He posted a black and white photo of himself standing on the banks of the Han River, wearing a long coat with the one-word caption, "Go." Army instantly split. Is this satire? Is this a form of disappointment? Or just a personal expression that happened to coincide with Jungkook's departure? But what made the post even more suspicious was the upload time, exactly at 1:26 in the morning. Very specific numbers. And of course, fans immediately associated it with a symbolic number. January 26th is the date that some fans believe to be the beginning of Jungkook's secret project Golden Side. Is Taeil trying to convey something? Or just warn? An insider mentioned that before Jungkook's departure, there was a heated conversation between the three members Jungkook, Jimin, and Taeil. The conversation purportedly took place in HYBE's private practice room and was not recorded by any cameras. But someone heard the sound of the door slamming and a high tone of voice. Even Jimin's voice said, "Don't be stupid. You know it's not just about you." What does that mean? Does Jungkook want to take a big decision that the other members don't agree with? Do they feel betrayed? And what about HYBE? After publicly demanding clarification on Jungkook's whereabouts, HYBE issued a one-paragraph statement. It just makes everything more blurred. They wrote, "All member activities are conducted according to protocol and have been approved by the authorities. We ask the public not to speculate." But there is no explanation as to why Jungkook is in Tokyo. There is no information about what project he is working on. No answer, just a request to stop asking. But is it possible, in the end, all these questions are not addressed to the public, except for Jungkook himself? Because the deeper we dig, the more we realize, this is not just a visit abroad. This is not just a leave from the military. This is a long-planned silent movement. And whether HYBE knows it or not, whether the other members are told it or not, one thing's for sure. Jungkook's world is changing, and he's not looking back. Some theories suggest that Jungkook's decision to go to Tokyo did not happen overnight. That even before his military enlistment, Jungkook was already designing new roads. That his dark-sounding solo songs, full of symbols, even his videos that play with mirror illusions, are all metaphors of the inner struggle about the new identity he is building. What about the armies? One of the viral threads on X, formerly Twitter, wrote, "If he wants to fly, we should be the wind under his wings." But what if he flew without telling us where he was going to land? Thousands of comments flooded the thread. Someone's crying. Some are angry. Some feel abandoned. But there are also those who believe that this is part of Jungkook's journey to become a legend. And maybe none of this was ever about choosing between BTS or the outside world. Perhaps it's about a person who finally listens to the voice in himself. The voice that he had been hiding for fear of